which they did a number on certain things in the scriptures, but the Spirit of the Lord has given us that spiritual filter to go through it and be able to look through and find out what's right and what's wrong, and our concern is not to try to convince the gainsayer as far as well, yeah, we do convince the gainsayer, but our job is not to try to break this down to people that don't not to receive it. I mean, if there's a gainsayer, yeah, you work with them, but we're at the point now where we're past that right now. We're at the end. The Lord is looking for his elect, and if you can't see it, then it ain't for you. Then just keep moving. Don't waste your time, because you're just gonna waste your time. And me for one, and I know other brothers feel the same way. I'm not really gonna keep going back and forth with somebody, for a period of 2-3 hours, or a couple of days or whatever, a week, back and forth with a guy, try to make him get it or understand it. I'm not gonna do that anymore, because the Lord said that the time is gonna come where there's gonna be a famine of the word, and that time is very, very near. So those of you that understand and see and can really understand this truth and can really get with it and can really appreciate it and learn it, then feel blessed, brothers. Because you got other guys out there that are not gonna get this, no matter how hard they try, and other guys are just gonna be straight up demons. But like I said, if you read through here, you see the word Edomite, which is also applied to number 130. Now, one thing I like to mention always is that when you go through these numbers here, these are called strong numbers, which were applied to the Hebrew and to the Greek. All right, these are numbers that Esau put on here. These numbers then were in the Torah in the beginning. These are numbers that they put to it, and even when you read about the when you read about the Strong's Concordance, they even tell you that this is not a breakdown of the scriptures. It's just a reference to let you know where certain words are in there that you're looking for. Like, for example, if you're looking for God so loved the world, you will look certain key words up and you will find it in the scriptures. If you're looking for a scripture in the Old Testament, you will type in the key word, and then they will give you a number or a reference to where you can find that every place in the scripture. And that's all the Strong's Concordance was for. And then you got these clowns out here that try to use the Strong's Concordance as the end all be all of the breakdown of the scriptures. It's not a breakdown of the scriptures, it's just breakdown of certain words. Alright, so now as we move on through here, this, like I told you, brothers, those of you that can afford it, I know times are hard. Times are hard. But if you can afford the book form, it's good to have the book form. It's also good to have it online, the Blue Letter Bible. This is the Strong's Concordance in the book form, right? And then this is the numbers that they gave it, and this is the number 130, which when you read in the Blue Letter Bible for "Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite," this is the number that they gave it. All right, you see here Adamya or Adamaya. Then it says here, or fully. It's blurred out, but you can see here Adawamya. Alright, Adawamya, which that's the proper word. That should have been there if that was a word that was there. Alright. Edomi, as they pronounce it. It says from 123, an Edomite, or descended from or inhabitant of Edom. Edomite. Then it says C726. So remember, this is the number that they applied to "Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite." But then as you read through here, it says that C726. Now, why would they say that? Well, let's find out. 726. Arawamya. Arawamya. Alright? Now, you notice if you look at this and you look at the word Edomite, they look similar. Arawamya, Adawamya. See, they look similar. The only thing that separates it is a Ra and a Da. So they were very clever in what they did. And when you read through here, it says a clerical error for 130, which we just read, an Edomite. So this is a clerical error. Alright, it says as in the margin, Syrian. So there's certain places where you see the word Syrian in the English and the word Edomite should be there. And there's certain places in the English that you see the word Edomite and the word Syrian should be there. That's all that means. So it says a clerical error for number 130, an Edomite. As in the margin, Syrian. So basically there's certain places where it should be Syrian, and there's certain places where it should be Edomite. And in the case of Deuteronomy 23:7, the word that should be there is thou shalt not abhor a Syrian. All right. Now let's move on. This is 2 Kings 16:6, and I'm gonna give you an example of that. It says, at that time Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elath to Syria, and drave the Jews from Elath. And the Syrians came to Elath and dwelt there unto this day. Now you notice I have Syria here, Syrians here underlined. Why? Because this is the word that we're going to be dealing with. All right. So now let's go to the next frame, and this is the book of 2 Kings 16:6, and I highlighted here Rum Yum, which is and Syrians. Right. Now if you notice all these other letters in the Hebrew here, they're all black, but then when you come here, it's highlighted in blue. Then when you go to the Blue Letter Bible and you actually click on it, you'll have a drop down menu, because right here it says Arumyum and Syrians. But when you click on it in the Blue Letter Bible, it has a drop down menu, and this is the drop down menu, and I highlighted Arumyum, right, because that was a word that is supposed to be there, Syrian, right? But then when you read it, it says Quara reading, which Quara means reading, or really it should be Quawara, which is reading. Quara is read. All right. Below is the Quara reading or read for Rum Yum. So in other words, it's letting you know that in that place where this word is at, Arumyum, this is the word that should be there. Wam Yum. So it says the Quora readings are corrections made to the Hebrew text around the 10th century AD by the Masoretes because of their reverence for biblical texts. So you know they try to put this thing here like they're so noble. You know, they were so noble that they just had to make these corrections. You know, so that because they just wanted to keep true to the text. But that's how the devil does. You know, in this case they were correct. They were right on point with it. I got no qualms about that. But in other parts of the scriptures, they went totally off and they did it on purpose, you know. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go back here to 2 Kings 16:6. So it should said at that same time, Rezin, king of Syria, recovered Elath to Syria, and drave the Jews from Elath, and the Syrians came to Elath and dwelt there unto this day. So really it should read, and the Edomites came to Elath and dwelt there unto this day. Because if you know anything about this region of land here, that's on the Gulf, on the northern part of the Gulf of Aqaba. You had a place called Elath, and then you had a place called Ezion Geber, which was being fought between Judah and Edom. You know, they were fighting over that land. So Judah had it at this time when the Syrians came in there, and they took it from Judah, as you see here, Jews, and they gave it to the Edomites. So that's the word that should be there. So why do they have the word Syrian here? Because the translation should have been Edomite, but they have the word Syrian. Because sometimes they did it on purpose, and sometimes, you know, they made mistakes. You know, because the word for Syrian and the word for Edomite are similar looking in the Hebrew. All right, now let's move on. Right, and now this is the Septuagint, right? Now, Elder Tahar did a show on the Septuagint, you know, and basically they go off on here a lot, you know, and they do it on purpose, too. But there were certain things in here, certain translations that they made in the Septuagint that were okay, because they didn't have to lie about it. But the points that they had to lie, like the virgin birth thing, you know, and stuff like that, they lied about it, all right? Now here, as you read through here, you see it's talking about the Syrians right here. Surias, which is Syrian. Suria, Syrian, right? And as you read through here, you have what? I'm sorry, Idumeo, right? So Idumeo is Edomite, all right? Which lets you know that the same scripture we read, it says Syrian, but really it should be Edomite. Alright, so that's letting you know the difference between the two breakdowns. Alright, now the next frame is Deuteronomy 23:7. Again, it says, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, or it should say, thou shalt not abhor a Syrian, for he is thy brother. Now, that will throw you off because it says he is thy brother,